Manchester United have officially confirmed that Mason Greenwood will not be continuing at the club as a player. A statement's being released. Greenwood's released a statement. Richard Arnold has released a statement. I know I originally did this as a live video, but there's so much information coming out that I wanted to read it all, absorb it all before I brought it to you here. I'm going to run through it all. It's not going to be too much of, I suppose there will be opinion in it. Who am I kidding? I think Manchester United made the right decision. I think this has been a decision that shouldn't have taken this long. But I'm going to run through the official statement, what Greenwood has had to say, as I said, what Arnold had to say, and also what The Athletic have been saying on it. It's a full coverage of everything that's just been released on Mason Greenwood. And I'm going to start with the official statement from Manchester United. I will read through this first before going on to Greenwood's statement, and then Richard Arnold's letter to fans trying to explain how the club has reached the conclusion that it has. Man United has concluded its internal investigation into the allegations made against Mason Greenwood. Our process commenced in February 23, following all charges against Mason being dropped. Throughout, we have taken into account the wishes, rights and perspective of the alleged victim along with the club's standards and values, and sought to collate as much information and context as possible. This has required us to proceed with sensitivity and care to obtain evidence not in the public domain, including from those with direct knowledge of the case. Based on the evidence available to us, we have concluded that the material posted online did not provide a full picture and that Mason did not commit the offences in respect of which he was originally charged. That said, as Mason publicly acknowledges today, he has made mistakes which he has taken responsibility for. All those involved, including Mason, recognise the difficulties with him recommencing his career at Manchester United. It has therefore been mutually agreed that it will be most appropriate for him to do so away from Old Trafford, and we will now work with Mason to achieve that outcome. So Manchester United's statement confirming a couple of things there, saying that the club have concluded that he did not commit the offences of which he was originally charged. But you're letting him go. But he didn't do them. But you're letting him go. Do you see the confusion in that statement there? Because I certainly do. And he's going to be, this is not a termination of a contract. I think that's quite an important part of it. I think probably from a legal perspective, I'm not sure whether that was possible. Certainly if Manchester United are there saying that they don't think he committed the offences. Now I'm going to go to what Mason Greenwood has had to say in a statement before we then move on to Richard Arnold. This is what Mason Greenwood said. I want to start by saying I understand that people will judge me because of what they have seen and heard on social media. And I know people will think the worst. I was brought up to know that violence or abuse in any relationship is wrong. I did not do the things I was accused of. And in February, I was cleared of all charges. However, I fully accept I made mistakes in my relationship, and I take my share of responsibility for the situations which led to the social media post. I'm learning to understand my responsibilities to set a good example as a professional footballer, and I'm focused on the big responsibility of being a father as well as a good partner. Today's decision has been part of a collaborative process between United, my family, and me. The best decision for us all is for me to continue my football career away from Old Trafford, where my presence will not be seen as a distraction for the club. I thank the club for their support since I joined age 7. There will always be a part of me which is United. I am enormously grateful to my family and all my loved ones for their support, and it is now for me to repay the trust those around me have shown. I intend to be a better footballer, but most importantly, a good father, a better person, and to use my talents in a positive way on and off the pitch. So of course, this is the first time that we've heard anything from Mason Greenwood since it all started. So Mason Greenwood denying that he's done anything. Manchester United saying there that he did not commit the offences. Man United is saying this, and I suppose, presuming the reason why we can't find out this, and we'll find out a bit more information in the Richard Arnold statement there, we can't find that information is because of legal reasons again, but we don't have that context. Now, next, I'm going to run through the Richard Arnold statement. Now, I'm not going to read through the full statement because it is a huge, huge statement, right? I'm going to leave the links for all of these in the comments and you can read through it yourself, but the most important part is down here, okay? And we will read through this part. While we were unable to access certain evidence for reasons we respect, the evidence we did collate led us to conclude that Mason did not commit the acts he was charged with. I am restricted as to what I can say for legal reasons, including the alleged victim's ongoing right to anonymity, but I'm able to share the following with you, which should give you some insight into the complexity of the case. The alleged victim requested the police drop their investigation in April 22. Now, if I'm correct, I think the only thing we were told prior that was that evidence that a witness had withdrawn their statement. Now that's being linked directly to the alleged victim. We were provided with alternative explanations for the audio recording, which was a short excerpt from a much longer recording, and for the images posted online, and the alleged victim's family participated in the process and were given the opportunity to review and correct our factual findings. It's always been that audio tape for me. That's the thing that's always replayed for me in my head. United are saying, as far as they're concerned, he didn't commit the offences, but that he can't continue with the club. Are Man United really just doing this off the back of a public backlash? Or is there more to it still that we don't know, and maybe we won't ever know? But this whole investigation has just been, man, exhausting. I don't know. I still don't know what to think. I really still don't know what to think. That Man United have released a statement that makes you kind of look in 4 different directions and go, well, but you said no, so he didn't commit them, but he's going. Right, okay. And then Richard Arnold released a statement of the same nature. He didn't do it, but he's going. And Manchester United, as we know full well last week, were planning to do something completely different with Mason Greenwood. And it was only that public sentiment there, the public pressure has been written there by The Athletic, surrounding the decision became intolerable. That's the reason you did it? That's the reason. Honestly, like some people are like, oh, Sam, yeah, you know, he's fine, they're back together, she's forgiven him, all this and all that. Do you not understand domestic violence cases? I think the fact that Manchester United have not just sacked Mason Greenwood tells you the complexities of the legal situation. They can't say that we don't believe he was guilty of the charges he was given against him and then sack him, can you? But the statement confirms that he's going to be Mason Greenwood. It doesn't say that Mason Greenwood was never going to play with Man United again. So, but I hope not. The club has made the right decision. The club's process of getting that decision, was wrong. Really was. And I suppose you can let me know what you think in the comments below.